over 30 years, Eldorado Stone has been refining the art of creating architectural stone veneer that's exceptionally beautiful, affordable, and above all, believable. We feel the most important characteristic of any manufactured stone veneer is not how many millions of square feet are installed, but how beautiful the stone looks in your own backyard or home. Today, Eldorado Stone has become one of the largest manufacturers of architectural stone veneer in the world and currently operates several manufacturing facilities nationwide with over 1,000 distribution centers in all major cities across the United States. Eldorado Stone offers a vast array of innovative products guaranteed to satisfy any customer's needs. Our core product line represents years of continuous innovation, research, and development, as well as technical milestones in manufacturing, production, and coloration. Our regional lines offer indigenous and unique products specific to Eldorado Stone's various regions. These lines combined offer stone profiles and colors unsurpassed in appearance and believability. The core products are manufactured nationwide by our regional manufacturing facilities, placed in our uniquely designed Eldorado Stone boxes, and shipped to our distributors coast to coast. Eldorado Stone has undergone stringent testing to ensure the products are safe and suitable for installation and meet building code requirements on a nationwide basis. There are a number of tools which can aid in the installation of your Eldorado Stone project. These tools can be located at any one of over 1,000 Eldorado Stone distributor locations in the U.S. To begin your project, you will need to determine the total square footage of stone to order. To calculate the square footage of flat stones, multiply the base width by the height. Make sure to subtract any windows and doors in this calculation by using the same formula and subtracting the two amounts. When calculating the lineal feet for corners, you will want to measure your total lineal feet. Keep in mind that 1 lineal foot of corners equals approximately 1/2 square foot of flat stone. The most common type of installation is over a sheathing surface. Sheathing can be sheetrock, wallboard, paneling, foam board insulation, plywood, or other rigid wood-related sheathing. With any sheathing surface, you will need to first apply a vapor barrier, then lath the surface, and finally apply a scratch coat to the lath. This will need to be done prior to installing the stone. Note, the use of OSB as sheathing material can cause the stone or mortar to crack and is not recommended. When covering the sheathing with a weather-resistive barrier, make sure it is waterproof building paper or a vapor barrier conforming to your local building codes. The vapor barrier needs to be applied horizontally, with the top layers overlapping the bottom layers by a minimum of 2 inches. Once the surface has been covered with the vapor barrier, install a 2.5-pound diamond mesh expanded metal lath. Use a galvanized lath for exteriors. However, a non-galvanized lath may be used for interior applications. Look close and you will notice the lath has cups. Make sure the cups are facing upward. The lath should feel rough when moving the hand down the lath and smooth when going upward. Installing the lath in the right direction will prevent mortar from sagging. Continuously wrap the metal lath a minimum of 16 inches around all inside and outside corners. The ends of the lath should overlap by at least 3/8 of an inch and the bottom by at least 1 inch. Attach the lath using galvanized nails or staples 6 inches on center vertically and 16 inches on center horizontally. Make sure to penetrate the studs by at least 1 inch. Once the sheathing has been wrapped completely with lath, you can begin mixing the mortar for the scratch coat. When working with mortar, it is crucial to have the right mixture to ensure a proper bond. For grouted and overgrout applications, Eldorado Stone recommends using a Type N or Type S mortar. Proper mixture is important so that no clumps are obtained and so that the mortar is not too wet or too dry. It should be mixed to a workable consistency. A good way to test your mixture is to scoop a portion of the mortar onto the trowel. When holding the trowel sideways, the mortar should cling to the trowel. With a quick shake, the mortar should slide right off. Once you have the proper consistency of mortar, you can begin applying the scratch coat. Apply about a 1/2 inch thick coat of mortar across the entire lath surface. Before the scratch coat is set, use a comb to rake the surface. This will give your scratch coat grooves and will create a good bonding surface for the stone to adhere. Once the mortar has set, you will be ready to apply the stone. It's recommended that you lay out a minimum of 25 square feet of stones at the job site so that you can get an idea of how the stones will look on the wall. Mixing stones from different boxes will allow a desired placement and balance of color, shapes, and sizes. Remember to start with the corners first. Notice the cornerstones are longer on one side. Alternate the placement of long and short sides up the wall. Once the corners are in place, you are ready to lay your flat pieces. Because Eldorado Stone is lightweight, you can install the stones from top to bottom for standard and overgrout applications. This method allows you to install the stone without the worry of mortar dripping onto the stones beneath. Make sure to butter up the back of each stone completely with about 1/2 inch even layer of mortar. Properly covering the back of the stone with mortar will ensure the stone properly adheres to the surface. To apply the stone, simply wiggle and push it into place so that mortar comes out around all the edges. A consistent 1/2 inch or less space around the joints is desirable. Long, straight, unbroken lines should be avoided. Make sure to frequently stand back and admire your installation. Should unwanted mortar touch the surface of the stones, allow the mortar to set up until dry and crumbly. Then brush off with a dry whisk broom. Use a granulated type detergent mixed with water and a soft bristle brush or sponge to clean smeared mortar. Acid will stain the stone surface and should never be used as a cleaning product. In some situations, Eldorado Stone may need to be cut. You may use a carborundum or diamond blade with a circular saw, table saw, tile saw, or a small hand grinder. Wide-mouth nippers and a hatchet can also aid in fine-tuning your trimming. Be sure to use safety glasses and a mask when cutting the stone. There are 3 distinct grout techniques, each with their own unique look: dry stack joints, standard joints, and overgrout joints. These 3 joint finishes play a major role when it comes to finishing a job that has the look and feel of real stone. Dry stack joints are accomplished by dry fitting each stone prior to installation. Each piece is laid with virtually no joint. Even though you've used mortar to set the stone to the surface, when complete, the finished look will appear as though no mortar was used to install the stone. A standard joint is achieved by laying each stone roughly 1 finger width apart from each other. Then a grout bag is used to fill the joints with mortar, forcing grout into any voids. The tip of the grout bag should be cut to accommodate the size of the joints. The mortar should be right between being too wet and too dry. Overgrout joints have become a popular way to achieve an old-world look. The grout overlaps the face of the stone, widening the joints and making them very irregular. It's important that the mortar be applied without air pockets and filled completely to the substrate. After grouting the joints, check to see if your mortar is ready before striking. The normal wait time is about 30 to 60 minutes. Push your finger into the mortar. It should be firm, yet give way. This is a good indication you are ready to strike the mortar and whisk away the debris. Use a wooden or metal striking tool to rake out excess mortar to the desired depth, while at the same time forcing mortar into the joints to seal the stone edges. Use a whisk broom to smooth and clean away loose mortar from the joints and stone face. Mortar color additives can be used to enhance the look of the stone. they should be pre-mixed with the water prior to mixing into the mortar. This will allow for a consistent color blend. The grout techniques and color additives can be just as important as laying the stone. When installing Eldorado Stone over clean, unsealed brick, block, concrete, or other masonry surfaces, very little surface preparation is necessary. Simply butter up the back of the stone and apply it to your CMU surface. Make sure to fill any voids to ensure a proper bond. Then remove the excess mortar so that the next stone can be tightly stacked. Refer to Eldorado Stone's installation literature for the recommended mortar mix in dry stack applications. Special attention should be given to keeping the work level. Chalk lines should be snapped every 4 to 8 inches as a guide for the installation of individual pieces. Also, it is of particular importance to frequently stagger the joint lines, both vertically and horizontally. In hot or dry weather conditions, Eldorado Stone may need to be wet to prevent excessive absorption of moisture from the mortar. This can be done by lightly misting the scratch coat with water, spraying or brushing water onto the back of the stone and wall surface, or dipping the stone into a container of water. Allow the water to absorb for a few minutes prior to applying the stone. For jointless dry stack installations, it will be necessary to wet the stones regardless of weather conditions. The ideal temperature must be 40 degrees Fahrenheit or higher at the time the veneer is applied. Application should be protected from temperatures below freezing so the mortar may set up properly. When installing stone over any painted CMU substrate or newly poured concrete surfaces where a release agent has been used, it is very important that the wall be cleaned back to the original surface by sandblasting, acid etching, or wire brushing. Or you may attach a metal lath using corrosion-resistant concrete nails with a scratch coat applied over the metal lath. Refer to Eldorado Stone's installation guide for recommendations on installing stone over open studs, and metal panels. In addition to window surrounds, accent pieces are also available in a vast array of colors, shapes, and sizes. These accent pieces can play an integral role when it comes to putting the finishing touches on your installation. Make sure to install Eldorado Stone at least 4 inches above ground level. This will protect the stone from freezing and thawing due to moisture in the ground and staining caused by minerals in the soils. Eldorado Stone should never be used below groundwater level or in applications that subject the material to chlorine or chemicals that may discolor the stone. Sealing the stone is not required, but can be done for added protection. The masonry sealer must be breathable and be either silane or siloxane based. Remember to always incorporate good building practices by using proper flashing and gutters to divert water runoff from stone surfaces. Carefully follow these recommended installation instructions and check your local building code requirements as these vary by area. We take great pride in the stone we manufacture and appreciate the care you take when installing Eldorado Stone. Should you have any questions or would like to request our installation literature, please contact us at 800-925-1491 or visit our website at www.eldoradostone.com. Eldorado Stone, the most believable architectural stone veneer in the world.